Welcome back, you guys. I hope y'all are having a wonderful Friday or had a wonderful Friday, whatever day it is when you're watching this. I'm having such a blast doing these controversial style videos with heavy opinionated comments and stuff because I love hearing what all you guys think about certain topics, what you would do in certain situations. So today we are back with another Reddit story. This one is about a 30-year-old man who lives with his girlfriend at his father's house, rent free, pays no bills, no nothing, does not help around the house or anything, and makes $73,000 a year. So, I'm going to share my opinion on this. First, let's get to the story and see what the dad has to say about the whole situation. Now, again, these are real Reddit stories from real people. This was posted a little over 24 hours ago at this point. I will pop the story up on the side of me if you want to read along with me as well. So this says, should I charge my son rent? I am 62 male. He is 30-year-old male. I, 62-year-old male, have my son, 30 male, living with me. He moved in a few years ago after falling out with his girlfriend. At the time, he wasn't in good shape financially. 3.5 years later, he now has a good paying position at a company, pulling down about $73,000 a year. He works mostly at home, owns a car, and pays no rent. He also does no household chores. We discussed moving out. He said he can't find an apartment because of his credit score, 700 or so. Yeah. He then continues to say, now his girlfriend, who I don't think works at all, pretty much stays here as well. I have several concerns. So again, this is a 30-year-old man who's living with his girlfriend at his father's house, who is 60 something years old. And, the son makes $73,000 a year. Okay, now let's go over the father's concerns and then we'll speak on his concerns and I'll give my opinions about the whole situation. Concern number one from the father. I don't feel he is maturing with no real responsibilities beyond his job. Okay, he is the father is the only one who can see that. So I'm going to take the father's word for it, and that's what we're going to go with for this story, okay? Concern number two. The father is single, and his girlfriend has misgivings about staying here with the son and the girlfriend in the house. The father at 62, it's tough to find a girlfriend, so it's becoming an issue. Yeah, I can wholeheartedly see that. At 62 years old, the love life is a little rough. You know what I mean? I don't know how it is to find love at 62. I'm a little scared to find it myself. I am in a relationship now, and I hope we stay together that long. So I can understand that. Concern number three from the father. I feel uncomfortable at home with both of them here. They are in and out, and sometimes he's gone at work, and I'm here alone in my own home, except the girlfriend is here. I mean, you're not alone if she's there. But I completely agree. You don't know her. You're mad about the whole situation. She's sitting there not working, not doing nothing when you've worked and did something for the whole 62 years of your life or whatever so far as we know, right? I can understand that. Now, couple things here. $73,000 a year is more than the average person tends to make. At least here in my state, the average yearly wage is around $25,000 to $50,000 a year. Even then, people are still finding a way to get apartments and houses making just that. So you can't say that you don't have enough money there, right? Now, next, let's go to the credit score, which he says that he has about 700 or so credit score. Here in my state in Virginia, it is a minimum of about 620, I think it is, or like six something to get a house. Okay? I think it's like 620 to get a house. For a mortgage. So for one, your credit score is high enough to get a home. All right. And now in an apartment, you make enough for an apartment. If you can get a home with your credit score, why could you not get an apartment with that credit score? So, to each their own. I would tell the man, go get an apartment and then you can save up for your house while you're in there, right? But let's continue on to some more of these issues. Now, for the father at 62 years old, you are getting up there in age a little bit. At some people at that age have health problems, they need help, they need caregivers, something like that. Now, if the son was staying there to be a caregiver and help the father, completely different. That is one thing. But it doesn't sound like the son is there to be a caregiver. It doesn't sound like the son is there to help the father at all because he's just not doing chores, the father says. So there's no excuse to still be at your parents' house other than the fact that you want all the money that you're making in your own pocket so that by the time I don't know what, maybe your father kicks the bucket, you have this huge lump sum of money or something like that. I don't know. Now, at 62 years old, you could still be working, but you could also be filing for not full retirement. I think that's at like 65. Maybe that's at my just my state, but I think it's at least partial retirement. So for all we know, the father could be making less than $4,000 a month. And with the way that things are in prices, you need to be making at least $4,000 or more a month to get by, unless you're being extremely frugal and doing nothing for yourself. It's hard out here for a pimp. Anyways, and so, which brings me to another thing. We don't know if the father owns the house or not, if he's still paying on a mortgage. And then with the utilities and stuff, that adds up. You have an extra person using your water, electricity, heat, which goes on the electricity, I guess, unless you have like gas, I think it is, or something. I don't know how it all works. But anyway, you got all the extra utilities and stuff, right? Double the person, but you're the only one paying it. And so you wouldn't have all that to pay if there wasn't a second person living there. I completely agree, because again, if the father is on partial retirement or full retirement, we don't know. They're only making but so much money from Social Security. So it could really be pulling into his pocket to where he's like, I can't afford to really do this anymore. And just wanted to throw that out there for anybody who's like, but that's your kid. You can't do that to your kid. Well, I mean, at the same time, it's like, the kid is making enough money to go live on their own, and they're choosing to bring down the father and not help the father, and it seems like they're just making it worse for him. So in my opinion, I'm on the father's side. I think at 30 years old, when you're making that much money, who would even want to stay with their parents? Why do you not want your own personal space? I know your father wants his own personal space, and that is probably why he has such an issue with it. Two, what woman is going to want to stay with a man who is still living with his father and not doing anything for himself, not trying to better himself, not getting his own place, not wanting to start a family? What? What? I don't know. Whole thing is a little bit crazy to me, which is why I just wanted to throw this out there, because there could be somebody going through this exact situation right now, which, I mean, this was posted a day ago at this point. So there is, but, or somebody that potentially could go through this situation later on down the line with their own children. So wanted to throw it out there. You're not a bad parent, or you're not a bad person or a bad parent for wanting to have your own personal space and want your child to actually go do something for themselves and actually go have a life, and have your own life as well. That does not make you a bad person or a bad parent. At some point, they got to grow up, right? And at 30 years old, what's taking so long? Okay. Anyways, let me know your thoughts down below. This is where we're going to end it. I want to hear your opinions, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.